Russia says its missiles hit Ukrainian military targets, but videos of a burning crater in a Kyiv park paint a very different picture.
Here's a summary of the article.
Two crossed lines that form an X. It indicates a way to close an interaction, or dismiss a notification. It indicates an expandable section or menu, or sometimes previous, next navigation options. Homepage home. It indicates an expandable section or menu, or sometimes previous, next navigation options.
This post received a score of 47,000, with an upvote ratio of 92%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Clearly, it was a military park. Troops train on the monkey bars and slide.
Judging by how poorly Russian troops are trained, you can understand the confusion.
Remember the Afghan soldiers confused by a gym? Same soldiers?
The Afghan jumping jacks video should be in the Internet Hall of Fame. Reminds me of the Arrested Development scene where everyone is doing a different chicken impression.
Greater than Afghan jumping jacks video source.
This one is my favorite of the failed jumping jacks.
So that's the army that couldn't stop the Taliban from retaking Afghanistan. Makes sense.
From the stories I've been told, a lot of them didn't want to do any training, exercises, and quite a lot of them were heavy drug addicts who would raid bases for copper to salvage and sell. You would think they would put in an attempt to protect their country and in doing do their own life.
We hardly put any money towards fixing their country, the country we spent 2 decades bombing the shit out of. Why would they want to fight? They weren't defending their country from outside invaders. They were expected to fight their own countrymen because a foreign country didn't like them, the same foreign country that's been bombing the shit out of their country for as long as many of those men had been alive. Much of the country still didn't have potable water when we left.
Just want to point out that not all of Afghanistan was like that. A mate of mine was in Bamiyan province. He was actually quite impressed with the female provincial governor. He said she seemed quite professional and keen to rebuild infrastructure, schools, etc. He seemed to really respect her. I don't know if Bamiyan was somehow different from other parts of Afghanistan or if it was the fact that the governor was a woman, not a man, that made the difference.
So they have declared that the German embassy was a legitimate military target. That should go well for them.
People saying Russian missiles are no good at aiming. I mean, sure, I'm not arguing against that. But given the rail sabotage against Germany plus hitting a German embassy plus hitting a bridge elsewhere, certainly gives the vibe of accurate-ish, at least. Which speaks fucking volumes given that children's parks were hit. Fucking terrorists.
These missiles landing in residential areas are not aiming for this one apartment building. They're aiming for one of those dozen apartment buildings. That rocket that hit a playground almost certainly was intended for one of the high-rises nearby, though the Russians aren't probably too unhappy about it, given their taste for innocent blood. That missile that hit the German embassy, though, was definitely intended to send a message.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.